while the race for 2027 takes center stage, with the power brokers and political gladiators making moves to secure their political future, while the tension is palpable and gradually teetering towards its peak, sending shivers across party lines and strong undercurrents that tilts the balance of equation more and more into so much apprehension about what lies in wait for the next political transition. Former Deputy Governor of Sokoto State, former Minister of Water Resources, and a leading member of the All Progressives Congress, Mukhtar Shagari, he joins us on Arise Prime Time. Glad to have you join us on Arise Prime Time. Also, former Attorney General of Sokoto State, I'm sure I'm correct?
Yeah, you are correct.
Good. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Well, you never succeeded Ambuwal. By the way, breaking news just calling Ambuwal and the breaking news just coming in that EFCC has arrested ex-Sokoto State Governor Ambuwal over alleged 189 billion naira scandal. You want to comment on that?
No, I cannot comment on that because just like you, I just heard about it when I got into this place, yeah. So I don't know much about it, and it would be unfair for me to make a comment on something that I don't know much about.
That's understandable. Well, you never succeeded him, Tambuwal, as governor after 2 terms as deputy as you intended. So what have you been up to since you left the seat of power in Sokoto State?
Well, you know, I actually left in 2015.
Yeah.
After our 2 terms administration with Governor Wamako, with whom I'm in politics now. Well, since that period of time after I've left, I have been showing a lot of interest in what is happening in the country, politically, economically, and so on. And I've been associating with people to know how best we can make this country a better place for each and every one of us, irrespective of political party affiliation, religion, tribe, and so on and so forth. Well, of course, eventually, I decided to leave the PDP and join APC. So now I'm a full-fledged member of the APC, registered member for the past 2 years.
Yep, let's talk about that immediately. August makes it 2 years you left PDP. This is August. You are one of, if not the longest member of the party, 25 years in PDP, am I correct?
Yeah.
Good. Would you say you have been vindicated since leaving PDP? You're now in APC.
Well, actually, when I left PDP, I told everybody because of the injustice and unfairness and non-democratic way of things were being done in the PDP, PDP would have no chance to survive. And I think I've been vindicated. Many people have now left PDP. PDP is now a shadow of its former self. In that case, I believe I've been vindicated. There are a lot of people who said, oh, why did Shagari decide to leave PDP after 2 terms as minister, 2 terms as deputy governor, and so on and so forth? But you see, when you see things are getting bad... And 25
years long-standing.
Long-standing. When you see that things are getting bad, and you tried your best to make it right, and you tried your best to make sure that people are respected, yourself is respected, and so it does not happen, I think if you continue to stay in a place where you can see things falling apart, and you did your best to see that some things are put right and it's not working, now the best thing to do is to move. So I decided to move.
And why the APC?
The APC, because my political friends, people with whom I work, you know, in a very peaceful manner, in a very respectful manner, like Wamako and so on and so forth, are in APC. And every politics is local. He is my political friend and he's my political leader. And I was his deputy and so on. And we understood ourselves very well. So I decided that, look, since I cannot be fully accepted in the PDP, why don't I move to the people who know my worth?
So it was because of friendship and not because of ideology?
No, no, no. Friendship and ideology. Because if you remember, when Wamako decided to leave PDP for APC, I was his deputy.
Yeah.
I stayed behind in PDP. That is ideology, that is principle. But when your ideology, your principle, your loyalty, and so on are not being respected, and what you think should be done, the way things should be done, are not being done, and so on, you have every reason to leave. So it's about ideology and so on. And I believe that the party I'm in now, I'm very comfortable, I'm very happy, I'm being listened to, and so on and so forth. And that is what it's all about. No matter how good you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how respectable you are, if you think so, if you find yourself in a situation whereby all those things are not being respected, are not being accepted, if you continue to stay in that scenario, then you must be a fool.
You must be a fool. All right, we'll get back to PDP and talk some more about PDP. But I had a session with Umar Ado. I'm sure you know him.
I know him very well.
The convener of the League of Northern Democrats. This was what he said. He said that if Tinubu does not do a realignment of his policies towards the North, he will be booted out. What do you make of that statement?
Well,
I mean, along with, I'm going to also talk about what Kwankwaso said, but along with all the statements that's been, entering the airwaves about, he actually said that the North, Tinubu's got about 60-something votes in the North, and the North is not happy with him.
Well, first of all, let me say this. With due respect to whoever is in ADC now.
Yeah, we'll come
with
to
due
ADC,
respect to whoever is in a coalition now.
Yes.
The true situation is this. People who have been used to political power and the perquisites of office that political power provides are no longer in that position. And unfortunately, even the one of them said we work for President Bola Tinubu. Yes. Working for somebody to be president or governor does not mean that he has to give you appointment. You must do it for a reason other than getting appointment. Now, these people have now been completely displaced. So they now find themselves in the situation whereby anytime they get an opportunity, what do? They vent their anger on the president, unfairly, unjustly. And I can say this. Most of the problems the president is now trying to solve in this country were problems created by some of the people that are now in opposition to him. Let's be fair to the president. The president, all of you, the journalists in this country, agreed amongst yourselves that he inherited a very bad and terrible economy.
The policies the president, the two whammy, double whammy, like you would say, that of removal of oil subsidy and the exchange rate. The people you're talking about were not the people that made the policy. It was the president himself. Because that has turned the nation into somewhat of a turmoil. You'd agree?
No, I don't agree with that. The situation is this. Let's not be hypocritical.
Okay.
The journalists in this country, members of the opposition party, and many people in this country have consistently said oil subsidy is a scam, is an avenue for corruption. It must go, it must go, it must go. The previous leaders did not have the political will, and also the courage to say, okay, since you Nigerian people and the journalists in particular have said subsidy is corruption, subsidy is a scam, and so on and so forth. They have not been able to do it. Okay, I, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will take the bull by the horn and remove something that all of you agreed that was bad for this country. And he did all that. But you see, the problem is this. In politics, no matter what good a government of the day does, the opposition will still come up with something and say it's wrong, even though they themselves, when they get there, they may not be able to even do what Ahmed Tinubu has done with subsidy and so on. So to say that because he removed subsidy, this and that, in the first place, why were Nigerians complaining about subsidy? I ask you this question, you personally, where would Nigeria be by now if subsidy has not been removed?
Let me ask you.
No.
Let me throw a question back to you.
Wait.
I'm the one asking the question.
No, this time I'm asking you.
Oh, that's why I want to answer it with a question.
When seeing the removal of subsidy, when have you seen any queue for people queuing, staying in the queue for 24 hours?
Last year we had.
And so on and so forth.
Last year we had. Was it beginning of this year?
Yeah, but it was
terrible.
Just a sort of time.
It was terrible.
Yeah, but just a sort of time.
But that's
so. But
there was. But the question I wanted to ask, just to deal with this briefly and move on into what we're discussing is, I was discussing with some friends, and I would always say, the claim by politicians or those in power is that there are people who are milking Nigerians through the subsidy scheme. And the question was always, are these people ghosts? Can't we get these people? Can these people be punished? Can you answer that, Excellency?
Well,
instead of increasing the price and always trying to affect the populace who bear the brunt of these policies when they go wrong.
If, for example, you say there is a thief in that house, and you know him, do you just tell the police, or do you just leave him? You have to go and tell the police and give the name of that person, his address, and so that the police will arrest him. So going on the media to say that people are stealing money, people are doing this without providing the proof, is just not enough.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is that Nigerians agreed, you the journalists agreed, politicians agreed that subsidy is a scam, is a source of corruption. Some few people, people have been saying we're actually milking this country and so on and so forth. So it has to stop. Okay. Now somebody came and he had the courage, the political will to stop it, and you say he's wrong. When will we be so honest with ourselves and say that, look, somebody has done something great. Let's give him the support and the cooperation.
This is a member of your party speaking. Former governor of Old Sokoto State and APC chieftain, Alhaji Yahaya Abdul Karim. He says he cannot in good conscience campaign for Tinubu's re-election in 2027 unless the security situation in the region significantly improves. What sense? Apparently he campaigned for him. So what sense do you make of this statement coming from an APC stalwart like you in the state where you come from?
Well, I cannot and I will not join issues with Yahya Abdul Karim. Yahya Abdul Karim was my governor, and when I was a young politician, I was only a member of a board in which he puts me. And we still relate and we work together. Of course, we eventually found ourselves in the Federal Executive Council as ministers. He Minister of State, I was a senior minister, and so on. But I cannot join. He has his own right to express his own, his own position, opinions, and so on and so forth. As far as I'm concerned, from the time Ahmed Ali took over as governor of Sokoto to date, there has been tremendous improvement in security in Sokoto State. In fact, I had the misfortune of witnessing the burial of 36 people at a time before this government. Today, I'm not saying that there's no kidnapping in Sokoto, but it has gone down drastically. And I believe both the federal government and the state government are working together and bringing the security situation down. And I actually want to commend the National Security Advisor. In fact, 2 years ago, if you decide to travel from Abuja to Kaduna, then you are seriously risking your life. Today, people can travel from Abuja to Kaduna even during the night time. Ask anybody who tell you. Are you saying that that's not an improvement in security? So as far as I'm concerned, I am not going to join issues with Malam Yahya Abdul Karim. He has his own right to express his opinion the way he thinks. But for me, I belong to a political party.
APC.
APC. And
ADC.
if my party fields any candidate, I have a duty as a loyal party man to campaign for that person. And that is why, if eventually the party nominates Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be our flag bearer, I will campaign for him and insist that if there are mistakes that have been made in the past, they should be corrected. Like
El-Rufai did, but he's now in ADC, and he's saying that Tinubu is not the right man. ADC is accusing APC government of weaponizing with all these endorsements. I mean, you're seeing endorsements all over the place. So ADC is accusing APC government of weaponizing the EFCC to intimidate opposition politicians, says the commission now operates like a department of the APC.
Well, you see, this is the way it is. During the PDP days, PDP was also accused of weaponizing the EFCC and harassing people. So there is nothing new about this kind of allegation. But as far as I'm concerned, the EFCC, they have a constitutional right to carry out their responsibilities, and they are doing just that. There was a time the EFCC also arrested me, but eventually the court said, no, Shagari is innocent, so therefore we agree with his no case submission, and I was acquitted and freed. You know, so the issue is this: whoever is in opposition, no matter how good the ruling party does or the government of the day does, he will still find a way to say, no, this is that. How are you sure that if ADC takes over power, which they will not do anyway, they will not do exactly the same thing?
I was going to ask you, what, okay, let me just ask you then. Remember that in 2015, APC took over power with the likes of Atiku, Obi, all those political bigwigs, Nasir El-Rufai, who campaigned for your cut, well, for the president, and the rest of the people you have in ADC. Is ADC sleeping quietly? Don't you think they're going to give you a good run for your money, especially when you think of these two people, Obi and Atiku, got about 13 million plus votes. Tinubu just got about 8 million plus votes in the last elections.
Well, let me make this very clear for everybody to know. The fact is this: I campaigned for Atiku when I was in PDP, because for me, party loyalty is very important. Whoever your party feels, you have to work for him. Look, 2027, APC cannot bring out a candidate that can beat Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You write it down now, so that after the 2027 general election, you invite me here, so that you say, oh, you said so.
What are you, now, let me tell you this.
No. I'm not a prophet. I'm a politician. But I know how politics works. Now, let me tell you this, something that you people do not even understand. People are saying, okay, late President Muhammad Buhari, may God give him Al-Jannah Firdaus, had 12 million votes. And that only some few millions of votes were added for him to be able to be the president of Nigeria.
Just about 3 million according to Mustafa.
Okay, fine. Now, those 12 million voters, they are dedicated supporters of President Muhammad Buhari. People are thinking that, well, in fact, well, of course, many of them will leave and go to ADC. It's not going to happen. You know why?
No.
Because when President Muhammad Buhari died, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu showed that he is a real statesman. He sent his vice president to London to be with the family of the late president and condole them, and insisted and instructed that he must come back with the corpse. He himself left Abuja. He went to Katsina International Airport and waited for the corpse.
We'll leave it there, Excellency.
No.
We don't have any time.
No, please.
We have a next program.
No, allow me to finish.
So we're going to leave it.
No.
Okay, just in 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds. All right? He received the corpse, gave the corpse everything that has to be done to a former head of state, did not fly in a helicopter to Daura. He followed the corpse. He took part in the rites that is normally carried, which is called janaza. And he went to Buhari's house and sat in front of the grave until he was. So those supporters of Buhari have taken note. And they will vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right.
You say I tell you that.
All right. Former Deputy Governor of Sokoto State, former Minister of Water Resources, and of course former Attorney General. Thank you so much for sparing your time of the APC Mukhtar Shagari to be on Arise Prime Time on Arise News.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Anytime.
Good. Well, that's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye, and thank you for watching.